Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Mike Greenapps. I'm the editor of Relaxo, and we are proud to be here to help the Claypool Lennon Delerium celebrate their new album, South of Reality. They're featured on the cover of Relaxo magazine. You can preview the issue back there. And without further ado, let's bring out Les and Sean. Welcome,
What's up,
guys.
y'all?
Congratulations, guys.
Check. Did you say flatulations?
I will now.
All right.
It wasn't me.
All right, well, we are now 2 albums into this project, so I think it's no longer a side project. It's just an actual project between the two of you
it's a
guys.
side
Yeah.
project.
Oh, yeah, it's just a side project.
Yeah.
But I know your friendship goes back way farther than that, and I was wondering if we could start here, Sean, by you give us a little background on the first time you saw Primus, which I believe was in Europe, just over 20 years ago, and that was kind of a seminal moment for you.
If you could imagine a small town in northern Italy, I believe it was called Padova. This is actually true. I was 15 or 16. I was going to a weird boarding school in Switzerland, and I was dating an Italian girl in this town, and we used to take the train there. Nothing was going on in the town. It was like, things closed at 7 p.m., it'd be dark, and we just saw this little building, like a bar that was thumping like a cartoon. And we're like, what's going on? There's punks jumping out, like drunk people everywhere. We went in, like, let's check it out. Les was up there. I believe, in my mind, you had kind of like colored, braided mohawks or something. You looked like a Mad Max, warrior, like the Ayatollah of funky bass playing.
Yeah, that was not me.
It was awesome. No, it was definitely you, because there was like the Frizzle Fry record being sold, and I just remember seeing like Italian punks, like there was a balcony like this, and they were like jumping off the balcony, like landing, just on their stomachs, like belly flopping. It was crazy, and I just thought it was the most amazing music I'd ever heard. But I was kind of terrified. I thought you were kind of like, I thought you'd be like a dangerous person, because the music was like, and he kind of looked intense.
How's that perspective change?
Yeah, it's kind of, the myth has been busted on that one. But yeah, so that's how I almost met Les. But I was a fan of the band after that, pretty much. It was amazing. It was like the wildest thing I'd ever seen. Granted, I was 15, so the only other show I'd been to was a Cliff Richards show at the Wimbledon. But compared to that, it was super punk.
And Sean, did you follow Les and Primus's development over the next few years, or was it kind of something that you saw then and then didn't rediscover until you guys ended up on the road together?
I did follow them around in a kind of creepy way. He doesn't know about that. I was following them everywhere. No, I was a big fan. I remember, like, I kind of, this is probably embarrassing, but I learned triplets from, like, your music, diddle-diddle-da, all that stuff. I'd never done in triplets on the drum. That whole, like, blah thing. I learned that from y'all. And, yeah, so when it came time to touring with Primus, I had a band with my girlfriend Charlotte called The Ghost, and, yeah.
Yeah, applause for that.
Thank you. An easy crowd. And I was just psyched. I was like, you're gonna love Primus. They're just wild. And it turned, by far, was her favorite band we ever played with. So, yeah, then we all became friends, and turned out we were all equally weird, and that kind of worked out in a way.
I like how when you start talking about Primus or My World, you sort of start donning this little southern drawl.
I don't know what's right. I just, because I have no...
slowly turn into
I know I do that, it's weird. I just,
Ernest
it's
goes
because
to jail.
I'm empty inside. I have no real, like, personality. It just completely, I'm possessed by demons.
Playing a little tune over there?
We have a live DJ here, everyone.
They have a small budget for the sound system. Very quiet, but...
Well, let's flash forward to 2015, and as you mentioned, Sean, Ghost was opening for Primus on a national tour, and you guys did some backstage jamming, at least one or two on-stage jammings, and next thing we know, we're here at the Rough Trade. So when was the first time you guys actually played together? Was it backstage? Did you get invited up to play with Primus and sit in, and did that lead to,
I got a text from Les, and he was like, "Hey, Shiners." Were you already calling me Shiners then?
No.
He calls me Shiners, which is...
I thought, they said, my manager said, hey, we're going to have Ghost open up for you. And I thought it was going to be the guys with the hats and the white faces.
Right, you're like, God damn it.
This would be killer. And then these guys show up.
It's just like...
What the hell?
It's like Kiss without the makeup. You're like, they're dorks. Well, yeah, I got a text from Les, and he was like, "Hey, man, we're having a jamboree on the bus."
Send you a text?
You did. You said we're having a little jamboree in the back of the bus. So I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna jam with Les," and I brought my guitar. I just thought you meant like there was a hoedown going, but it was just you.
Yeah, it was just me.
And you were in the back room with your
pants
bass,
off.
and it was like super dark, like The Godfather,
Yeah.
And I walked in, and he's just like, "Come in, why don't you play that guitar, son?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And he looked at me and he was like, diddle, 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 diddle. And I was like, tick, 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 tick. And he was like, "Hey, I like the dickety dick." And I was like, thought you would.
Easy.
And I don't know, then I just blacked out. I woke up the next day. We were in Albuquerque. I'd been driven for like 19 hours. I don't know what happened. I was missing my socks and my wallet.
The amazing thing is,
Not true.
is we were across the street prior to coming in here, and we've been, struggling with a little throat congestion, so we had hot toddies, which I've turned Shiner on to hot toddies lately. So we're in the back there, and he's going, "Oh, I'm getting really tired. I'm kind of fading out." We got him
In a
a coffee, and now
blissful way.
he's zipping around.
I'm zipping it up. I'm basically, it's like speedballing. I got the toddy to take me down and the coffee to bring me up.
He has the brain tickle right now.
Just in that sweet spot right now. In 10 seconds, I'm probably going to collapse, though. So just ask me something now.
So clearly love at first hot toddy, but for you, Les, there was you had Sean on the road here. There was a moment where you brought him backstage, and I believe you brought him out with Primus for one of your big sit-in vehicles there. What would
the old sit-in vehicle?
Yeah. I mean, what did you first take away from listening to Sean's music, and that you felt like was so appropriate for the
I
Primus
should probably
tour?
leave
the
this,
room.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I heard The Ghost of the Saber-Toothed Tiger, and I thought that was amazing. I really enjoyed it. It was us and Dinosaur Jr. and The Ghost. And we just hit it off right off the bat. In fact, he actually hit it off with my son right off the bat, because my son is full of all kinds of little nerdy tidbits of random information, as is Mr. Shine Lemon.
Boy after my own heart.
So they were just geeking out on whatever,
We were having an argument whether microwaves were dangerous from cell phones.
And but we became friends, and then we were just kind of sitting around backstage one time. I had my resonator bass, and he had an acoustic. And we kind of started jamming, and interesting things were coming out. I play with a lot of people, but there was some interesting counterpoint to what I was doing that I wasn't quite used to. And I thought, oh, this guy's got some interesting things, and so we.
Little did you know I only had that one interesting thing. I just keep doing that again.
We made a habit of it, and then he came out on one of our jam vehicles, like you said, which is a song called "Southbound Pachyderm," and it's sort of the sit-in song for people that hey, I come sit in, and he nailed it. It was amazing. So
I did.
I said, come on out to Rancho, Relaxo, and let's see what happens. And we started throwing pasta at the walls, and we made Monolith of Phobos.
The best thing, though, this is a good story. As I was walking on for Pachyderm, we hadn't rehearsed or anything. I just learned it backstage. I'm like, "Well, Les, what do you want me to play?" And he goes, "Whale sounds." And I was like, yes. I know how to make whale sounds. That's my thing. So, and I did it. I was like, "Woo!" And he was like, "Man, that sounds good." I was like, "Yeah. I'm a whale sound guy." That's what my mama taught me. It's true.
Which is no bullshit.
Yeah.
We jammed with Yoko last night, and she was making some whale sounds.
No, it's true.
Elegant whale sounds.
It was her birthday. If you see like a pod of humpbacks in the Hudson, it's probably her fault.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, as you mentioned, you're making whale sounds together, having hot toddies. You guys are obviously, cosmically linked, stylistically, all this stuff like that. You end up in California, and what were those first sessions like? Did you come up with any songs that we might have heard then, or was it kind of just getting to know each other a little bit better than on that tour?
No, you heard an entire album.
Yeah.
Monolith of Phobos was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got together, and we sort of got, Rancho Relaxo is where I make all my records, and it's basically this old 70s pool house. My house looks like Boogie Nights.
It does.
It was made in 1973, and I haven't changed anything. People said, oh, when I first moved there 20 some odd years ago, oh, you're going to remodel? I was like, what are you talking about? But we hear it's dark in the 70s. I love dark in the 70s. I got orange tile, I got a green toilet, the whole bit. And so we're in this little, what used to be like a pool house, and it's now full of all this vintage gear, and Shiner comes in, he sits over here, and I'm at the console, and we just start making racket, and I had a song, Captain Lariat.
Yeah, that was the first one.
And that was the first thing we jammed on, and it sort of became this thing, and then...
Luckily, I'd already learned the triplets thing from Primus earlier on, so I was ready for it.
So then the next day, he's down at the guest house, fretting away, and he comes in with a song, and then the next day I came in with a song. We just kind of just kept bouncing stuff off each other, and...
It was a lot like the Rumors record by Fleetwood Mac. We were in a blaze of cocaine-inspired hallucinations. We started sleeping with each other and cheating on it. It was weird, but it was good, and it was worth it. We stuck together for the
But then writing songs about the eventual inevitable breakup.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You guys wrote your breakup record before you actually were together.
Yes.
That's nice, yes.
Well, we were thinking to promote
Modern
this album,
times,
we should stage a breakup, a dramatic one or something. I think we should do that to get on the front page of the New York Times.
The Times.
I think that would work. I mean, aren't Kiss on their 49th final tour? we can have one or two. Wouldn't that be more exciting if we told everybody
keep talking, Shiner.
Sorry. I think I actually blacked out. This is just some weird demon that's talking. The real Sean is asleep.
Well, in our new issue of Relics, shameless plug here, Les, you mentioned that when you're making an album, you're looking to capture the essence of something. You know what I mean? You don't care if things are
The essence
perfect.
of samba.
Exactly. You want this free spirit, and I think that definitely comes through for all your work, and especially this album. Were these songs which were developed in a very short period of time? Did you ever, was there a moment where you're we just got it, let's move on to the next song, or did you kind of just record and then think you were going to come back in a couple weeks or a couple months, or was it kind of perfect that's for a second?
No, I'm a capture the moment guy.
Yeah.
I think the notion of technical perfection is overrated. I think you can beat something to death. I think you got to capture the moment. And a lot of this is I've worked with some guys that's what they do. I've been on a lot of Tom Waits records, and it's he's the master of that.
Well, also because you play so good, so you can just record and jam, and it sounds good. When I record records, it's I'm punching in every note.
But he says that, but I'm there when he's doing his solos, and he'll do something, let me do it again. I'm like, no,
that's true.
That's
it.
That's
doesn't
it right
want me
there.
to do
Just
it again.
stop. Well, I really want to do it again.
One more time.
No, that's it.
He's like, nope.
There's a magic moment.
No, but you're right, because I definitely overdo it. I'm the one who'll ruin it. I'll just keep recording it until it's just banal.
You're ruining it right
lifeless.
now.
See?
Question was answered a while ago.
I'm trying to remix the record again. He knows how to keep it raw. He's the sushi chef, and I'm like the Martha Stewart.
All right, I like it.
Well, Martha, you've mentioned also in this Relics article that you're definitely known as a songwriter, and you're into craft songs, and you really use the studio as a tool in a lot of different ways, and for many years weren't known as much of a shredder, but I think you're kind of becoming that now, especially with this band and now 2 albums in. Did you do a lot of practicing before you went out last to jam? Did you kind of try learning certain songs or practicing different sessions? What was kind of your rehearsal like going in to meet him that first time? Technical, or if there was one.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just no, I started practicing. It's embarrassing, but it's true. I don't know why I tell the truth all the time, but maybe I didn't have to, but just I wanted to be as good as I could be, because playing in a band with Les it's different from other projects I've been in. There's a lot of improvisation on stage, which is cool, but in order to be ready to just sort of go off and improvise like a guitar solo for 3 minutes while you go and change your bass or something, you got to kind of be ready for that. So I definitely, did some scales, but I was kind of a lazy guitarist. I never did those before. So I learned like C major, diminished, and playing that. Still working on the.
We Sharpie marked up his neck with different colors,
Yeah.
so he knows where he is.
Yeah. Now I've been doing some Pilates and working on my my meditation and doing some crayon coloring and stuff just to sharpen up. Sorry, I don't even know why you brought me here. I'm gonna go. Can I have a table for one?
Well, fast forwarding a couple of years later, now you guys are back with your second album. You guys did a great tour together. You played all over the world, did a bunch of festivals, headlining shows, all sorts of grandeur. When it came time to make the second album, what was the scene like? Where you're like, okay, we're gonna kind of try to recreate the original sessions, where we're gonna just be really loose and free. Were there certain ideas that kind of happened on that first tour and that first album you wanted to explore more? And what was it like jumping into round two here?
Round two. It's kind of round 2.5 because we did that EP of covers, and I think even that and the touring helped define the direction more.
Yeah.
Just because we were done with the honeymoon stage. We'd gotten to know each other. We have a way of working now.
I mean, we still make love, but it's just not as frequent.
Yeah. It's what?
You know what it's like. First 2
Not as
weeks,
much
it's
cuddling
like 3
after.
times every hour. Now every 8th time it's good. You know what I mean? You know what it's like. This is a metaphor, by the way. I'm talking about music. That's how we make it. No, it's true though. We've crystallized our oeuvre. No, that's not a sexual metaphor. That was just, our style. We knew what it was. Isn't that true? Our oeuvre? It's okay for 2 men to have an oeuvre together. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna ask you a question. What the hell is an oeuvre?
I don't know, it's a Martha Stewart reference. It's like an egg that's like covered in
That's not quite
garlic
round.
salt. No, isn't an oeuvre your style, like what you do?
Am I supposed to know this?
expanse of what
I'm
you
a
do.
Californian guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
it's French. Yes. Really?
Thank you, sir.
Good phone and friend moment right there, everyone. Thank you.
You win a set of steak knives.
And describe this oeuvre a little bit more. What moments, from
Let's
that.
hear all about the oeuvre. Shane.
Yeah. No, you guys, especially that cover.
We got our oeuvre back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to laugh. That was pretty bad. I'm sorry. That was nice though. You're sweet. Our style. Okay, our gestalt.
Yes.
Our
Can you help me with
our
that one?
umlaut. I'm just misusing words now. Yes, I'm Youngian. He's older Ian.
Hey!
I'm kidding. It's
You
I'm
lobbed
just
that one in
tired.
there.
Yeah. No, it's true. By the second record, I think we were prepared to do something better because we didn't have to figure out what we were, and we were like ready for it. Is that true?
Well, better is sort of subjective, don't you?
That's
think?
true, but it feels. I felt more prepared or something.
Well, he was more prepared.
I was. I'd done.
He came into the first one. Excuse me. He came into
I
the
didn't
first
even
one.
know what band I was showing up.
I tend to
at.
work really fast.
He does.
And he was like, holy shit.
I was like,
You just
slow down,
had to
man.
play catch up. On this one, he came in with a whole bag of goodies.
I wanted to
But
be
also,
prepared.
on this one, we spent time here in New York and upstate at his mom's place.
Yeah.
Just kind of riffing around on acoustics and hanging out and drinking wine and recording on our phones. So we had various nuggets to go home and fiddle with and add lyrics to and whatnot. So
Right.
We had a groove though too, like
we
he
had
was
an
on
oeuvre on it.
He's on
Well, you guys definitely on this album, you already had the band's identity separate from your guys' own musical identity, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit with, you know, you guys, your humor, obviously wine and
No
family
humor involved in any of it.
But there really is in this album, especially the second album. There's a very political satire element to that. Did that just come naturally with the state of current events, or is that something that you guys?
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I missed that.
But
too.
the world's so sunny right now that you guys really captured that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know, like when we first were doing the first record, I remember Les and I would send each other weird articles or funny music, and we also had some chats about, we should write a record about, I think at one point you were saying that there was like a weird story about that couple that played video games so long that their kid like died basically.
That's not the
cheeriest
story.
Well, that's why we didn't do it. But you know, we had a bunch of ideas. Like maybe it should be an opera about that. You know, so we're always kicking around ideas. Not all of them are great. Some of them are disturbing and dark.
3 of them are great.
But you know, so we accumulate concepts. I feel like by the second record we had a bunch of thoughts in the bag, the thought bag, which is a bag.
Thoughts in the uvular.
Yeah.
Bag.
Yeah. I think of your next album title right there, guys. You ready? And were there other, shared influences outside of music? You know, you mentioned wine. You obviously comedy. Horror movies. Kind of what else did you guys bond over besides obviously your shared interest in these great albums?
Well, I almost sunk us both out in the ocean.
That's true.
That's a bonding element right there.
Yeah.
When you're struggling.
I wasn't scared though. I thought I was pretty brave.
I think you were oblivious.
There were
Was there a fishing trip or?
There's a fine line,
A little bit of
Les.
obliviousness.
There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity.
Yeah, once the second bilge pump kicked in, I was like, no, this is not real cool here.
Yeah.
And this might be the
Like,
next,
Shiner, we
the
might
next album theme
I want to
as well.
step this game up a little bit.
No, we went crabbing and I almost lost a forearm to what was it? What kind of crab was it? The big ones.
Those are dungeons.
They're so strong. You don't think about it. They're these little things, but I almost took my leg off. It's crazy. But I earned it though.
Yes.
It was exciting.
So that's a huge portion of
the fishing is a big
inspiration
deal.
and
Right.
bonding.
Oh yeah, and he showed me how to fly fish in Missoula, on the famous river runs through it river.
Yes.
That was
The
awesome.
Blackfoot.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
do stuff like that. We don't always do musical stuff.
Well,
Sometimes we're tormenting the fish of the sea.
Well, you guys, you live across the country, Sean. You live here in New York. Les, you live out in north of San Francisco and Sonoma. Did you guys introduce each other to your own musical communities and kind of cultural communities during these recording sessions, or just as friends going to visit each other? There's a little bit of kind of like
I
going to
try
visit
to
your friend
make sure he doesn't
camp.
meet any of my friends. It might weird him out. I don't have a community really. It's not like, I know people.
What was that last night?
Yeah.
That was interesting. My mom was on fire.
Yeah.
She was screaming, and she was like, "I like this Les guy." She's like, "We have to do a project." It was cool. It was fun. But yeah,
She was hitting on me, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh no. All right, I'm going to my
I
happy
didn't want to
place.
drop that bomb on you.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm just gonna let that sit out there.
As you should.
But yeah, I've met a lot of Les's. Les has a real big community of
Yes,
musicians.
exactly.
He's got a huge community of musicians. No, you do. I've met a bunch of them. They're all good people. Jammed around a bit. But I don't know. We spend a lot of time just hanging out, watching movies. Going to get food, fishing, going for hikes.
There goes that country twang again.
No, but what's the kind of mushroom that we hunt for? We go on mycology outings to get a kind of mushroom. What's it called? Oh, funky porcini.
Yeah.
Funky porcini, yeah. Stuff like that. We do like nature outings and stuff. It's not always, tripping the
We
light
go change
fantastic.
some oil, build a couple carburetors.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'd have me doing that if I could. I'm just not manly enough.
Oh, I'll get you in there.
He maligns me for my mediocre toolbox. 'Cause I don't have enough tool.
You have way more tools than Sad Brand.
Yeah, he's gonna make me a man eventually.
And at some point during your mushroom and wine adventures, you decided to re-release Les's Beanpole album. Is that correct? And you're
It's
like,
not Les's record. I didn't mean to misbrand the album. It's an album made by friends of Les, but it's not his band.
It's not my band.
He might have played some, chopsticks on it or something, but it's not his project. I think that didn't want to misbrand it, but nonetheless, it's very good. I recommend it. Put it on Camera Music Beanpole. It's super cool. It's like a concept record about Appalachian white trash family who consider eating their chicken child. Is that what it is?
That's an odd Cliff Note paraphrase.
Did I just make that up? I thought it was about a chicken boy.
Some friends of mine made this record literally when they were in high school, over like 30 years ago. And it's been a massive inspiration to myself and friends of mine. I played drums on some of it. But I always joke that it's the record that killed Prawn Song Records. Because it kind of is. Because I wanted to release this record when I had the label, and we were with, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I don't remember who was our distributor at the time. But I brought them this record and said, okay, here's the next one, Beanpole. We mastered it in the whole bit, and they were like, yeah, Les, we're just kind of tired. Basically, they were tired of my things that obviously were never going to make a dime. Right. So they were like, maybe this isn't such a good fit for us. So it's always the big joke that Beanpole killed my label. So Shiner and I were drinking on the bus one night and playing music. Like, you got to hear this record. And we played it. He's like, oh my God, that's amazing. I will release it. And I was like, okay. And Greenberg, who is the principal character and architect of Beanpole, his whole world, he writes code, but his whole world for many, 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 many years revolved around the Beatles and Disneyland. So the notion that Sean was going to release his Beanpole record was, he's still weeping to this day. And then to be able to play with us at the Fillmore this last New Year's and have his mom sitting on the side of the stage watching him perform probably the one and only Beanpole performance. Right. He's again weeping, and there might even be some feces dropping into his underwear.
It was great. It was a really good show. They're cool. It's an interesting album.
And they have more YouTube hits than us.
I know they do. It sounds kind of like if Beefheart had been in the Beatles or something. It's weird. It's cool. But it's melodic. But it's raucous.
It's amazing.
It is. It's good. Check it out, please.
All right. I think we have time for a few questions here. So let's.
You with the snappy jacket.
Yeah. All right.
Two quick questions. First of all, I want to say that I was out about a year ago, West Coast Sonoma, and Shady took amazing care of me and my friends, and we love your wine. So my first question is, have you guys moved out of the train that we were getting served at? That's the first question. And the second question is, I saw you both at Capitol Theater and also at Irving Plaza on the tour. Both amazing shows, and then just kind of blown away by your mom coming out on stage. So my second question is, how often does your mom make a guest appearance on stage with you guys? Thank you.
That was awesome. Well, she's backstage now. She's about to come out, so.
Whale calling?
Yeah, we're gonna make some whale noises. Get her out here. As far as the tasting room, we've moved out of the train car, and we have actually. I bought this old boat repair building. Go figure, right? And we've turned it into it's a cute little thing, and about 80% of the space was decorated with things I found on Craigslist. So it's pretty sweet. It's a great place to hang. If you're in the zone, come hang out.
On Craigslist to buy the thing.
Yeah, I'm a Craigslist. I always joke. I'm not a social media guy, but to me, social media is going on Craigslist and looking for old Chrysler parts. And I'm not lying. So
the winery is Claypool Cellars here, by the way. Your shameless plug. It's Claypool Cellars, your winery, yeah.
Purple Pachyderm. The purple Pachyderm's coming back.
It's premium Pinot, guys. Premium Pinot. I don't think people realize how often I jam with my mom. Like, even last night, we jammed all night. And that's what she wants to do on her birthday every year. She's like, oh, you want to jam? She's like, yeah, jam. And, on Thanksgiving, I had my friends who you introduced me to, Tal Wilkenfeld, this amazing musician, and Nels Klein, the guitarist from Wilco. And on Thanksgiving, they came over for dinner, and then we wound up jamming all night with my mom in the living room. So, you know, it's not like a rare thing, and that's what I've been doing a lot for most of my life. She's always up for getting down. So apparently, Les told me that actually, but
All right, right over here.
So, apologies if this is really nerdy, but I noticed, that you guys use a lot of very cool effects. That's obviously kind of part and parcel with your whole sound. Is there one effect pedal that you go to kind of get lost in and draw inspiration, or is there a favorite effect that you?
we'll have to kill you if we tell you. Meet us after the show. No. What do you?
Can people hear the questions, or?
Is there one effect pedal, since we're so into effects, that really is remarkable that we'd want to mention? Is that basically the gist? What would you say? I don't want to give away in the
I use
the
no
sauce.
effects pedals.
Yeah.
It's all done with my mind.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The thumping and plucking, it does a lot of magic. It's hard to say. I like a lot of pedals. I was asked that question actually for some guitar pedal board book, and there was one pedal that I like, but this is too nerdy. Did anyone
He
care?
said it was a nerdy question.
But I feel bad telling you is good, but everyone else is like, my God, this is dope.
I think they just want to hear the answer.
The one I chose was this MXR filter that's a sample and hold pedal. Do you know what sample and hold is? It's like something that voltage-controlled synthesizers do, and it's weird. It randomly moves through the waveforms like sawtooth and sine wave, so it goes like... It's like a phaser, but that's super robot-y and weird, but like a 60s idea of a robot. And so you can run anything through that, and it'll give you that weirdness. I like that one. And I say that one just because it's rare and no one has that pedal. And it's got a nice kind of coloring to it. But yeah, we have a lot of weird pedals. He has he's got like a high riser of cool effects when he plays bass.
Yeah, but I don't really have a lot of. It's more for color than it is for, and continuity than it is for.
It's for.
I mean, like sonic color. Like I don't have.
I
Like,
thought you meant
radical
literally for the
effects.
look.
There's a couple of envelopes that I wish I still had that kind of fell apart on me. I mean, delay. I love my delay pedal. Gives a little.
And your synth thing is
zippy
cool.
do. What was that?
The synth thing is
Well,
super
that's just
cool.
a pedal that's triggering a
What do you
synth.
use for your delay?
It's just a line 6. It's super easy. I like easy, and I'm the guy too that I go through my gear maybe once every 13 years and change shit because I just don't want to deal with them. I'm just not that guy that keeps up on the late. Lure Lalonde, he's overflowing with pedals, and there's all this shit. He has ones that have his name written on them, and
He has
like,
that.
just give
He
me
has
the
that.
simplest thing. I
He
just
has
want
this
the
amp
simplest
mod
thing.
pedal that you can like program with your computer, and you can it's like an amp mod. I forget who makes it, but it's cool. But it's so high. It's so high tech that you can record into it from an amp or speaker that you like. It'll make an algorithm of the shape of the way the sounds coming through that speaker, and then it'll amp mod that speaker through the pedal. So that's Lur. He's the real. You should be asking him about that stuff. I just use a memory man.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions. We'll do one right there and then one right here.
Questions for Les?
Yes, sir.
About 7 or 8 years ago, I ran into you right outside the Brooklyn Bowl, actually, and you said something that confused me up until now.
I like how you say up until now, as if I'm going to actually solve this thing.
I hope you can.
All right, here we go.
So I went up to you. I said,
Blue.
Excuse me, are you Les Claypool? And you put your hands out and you went, potato. And what was happening? And I kind of gave you a fist bump, and I was like a 16, 17-year-old kid. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And you were just like, oh, all right, whatever. And I was just like, well, what happened? What just happened? And I just wondered about that.
You
for
won.
years.
You didn't realize it. You could have got a new Camry that day. It's so funny, the whole potato thing. It's years ago, somehow A.K.A. picked up on this, and it was all over the place. Les likes to give people a potato. Les doesn't shake hands, he gives them a potato. And my friends were like, hey, what the hell does this mean? And I was... So, moved, as my tenure on the planet has increased, I'm become more and more of a germaphobe. I am a germaphobe, and I hate shaking hands. I hate it.
That's why we never toured Germany.
And it's fun, it's like, and for a couple of reasons. I've had the overzealous fan that literally has crushed my hand before.
Right.
And then there's the shake a hand, and then you get that warm abalone hand, and you're just like, and you're gonna get, the MRSA virus or some shit off of that. So I do like, I used to always do the potato. Well, now the fist bump is like in vogue now, so I can do the fist bump and kind of get away with it. And for some people, it's really off-putting, and I feel bad, but like today, we went and did a lot of press, and we met all these people at Sirius, and I'm doing the old fist bump, and it was, in a lot of ways, it was to save them, because today is we can celebrate this as my final day of antibiotics, because I had this horrible greenish brown shit in my throat that I've been hacking out for a week, and so
all right.
I'm saving these people as well. So, I know for many years they've talked about how rats is what spread the Black Plague throughout Europe, and it's really not the case. It was handshaking, and I know that for a fact. And so I do the potato, or now it's the fist bump.
I think, can I comment on this? Because I've observed from afar. I think the main issue really is we're skirting. It's that when you say potato, I don't think anyone knows what it means. If you said fist pump, then everyone would be like, oh. But it's the fact that they go shake your hand and you say potato, and they're like, are you hungry? I just don't think they know what it means.
Well, so one potato, two potato. It's whatever.
No one. That's why he's...
Did you really not get that?
Yeah, that's why he was confused.
So one potato, two potato.
No, I've seen it happen.
Is this really a revelation right now?
Yeah. No, I solved it.
Yeah, that's what it is. A potato.
I've seen it happen a lot, and it's a language, it's a translation thing.
Oh, well, there you go. I just thought everybody knew what the hell I was talking about. Well, I am a West Coaster. Northwest Coaster.
All right, last question over here.
What is Amethyst Realm about?
I defer to
I think we
the
don't
furry
like
man
to know
to
that.
my right.
It's a song on our new album, South of Reality. It's
He
called
asked what Amethyst
Realm. And that one was inspired by a story that I saw of a young lady in England who claimed to have, or who did leave her fiancé because she claims to have fallen in love and procreated with a ghost. And I just thought it was an interesting fodder for a song. And the best part is that she renounced living men because it was so good. And I don't know, I've had my heart broken before, and I was just thinking like, oh man, it sucks to like walk in on your lady and feel betrayed, but I can't imagine if like the person that she left you for was like invisible. That would just like be like salt on the wound, I mean, how neurotic is this guy now? He's just like screwed, I think. So yeah, it's a true story. It's basically a documentary about this girl, and her name is Amethyst Realm. I think her parents were in the Manson family or something. But it's a good name. It's really the name was good. But that's the truth. It's the fact that happened.
So, can I back up just a little bit here? I don't want to get too personal, but within this explanation, you said, we all know what it's like to have our heart broken and walk in on someone.
Well, I've never actually walked in, but I feel like I know enough about what that kind of event would feel like, because I've been betrayed by people before. But yeah, no, I've never walked in, especially not on a demon or a ghost. But I don't even know if I would notice. But in the story, he sees them. Apparently he's in the interview, and he says, like, I looked through the window and I saw her embracing some shadowy figure. So he saw the ghost too. That's what must have been terrifying. But I don't know.
You don't think he just walked in on her masturbating and she said, oh, it's a ghost? So, damn.
I mean, maybe I don't know if he'd be threatened by that. I don't have any reason to doubt this lady.
All right, on that note, Sean and Les, everybody.
That's a hell of a note.
Death Reality, new album out. Check them out on the cover of Relic. Check out the album. They were on Colbert last night, and congratulations, guys.
Thanks, pal. Look at that. Potato.
Potato.